I woke up drenched in sweat. I could feel it running down my forehead as I sat up. I blinked a couple times and looked around. I sat up further in my bed to realize I was in my boxers, which I will note I wasn't when I passed out. Which means Jack stripped me down to this, and I'm not sure why. I shook my head as I walked over to my dresser and grabbed a pair of light-colored skinny jeans, slipping them on. I looked over at my mirror and almost shit my pants as I saw my wings. God, that was so weird to say, yet alone see. My wings moved slightly when I saw them in the reflection. I watched them retract back into myself, which, yes, I know sounds weird and probably won't get any better the more you hear it. I grabbed a black long-sleeve shirt, put it on, and pulled the sleeves up my forearms. I walked out into the living room to see papers scattered everywhere and leaned down to pick one up. It had the names of multiple locations around Omaha on it. I grabbed another one to find a similar print, except this one had details of people's locations, not just anyone, but Demunez cartel members and even a couple leaders. In fact, these papers looked like something you would get from a police database. I walked over to the edge of the couch to see Jax passed out with more papers on his chest. A thought went across my mind. I went and grabbed my phone off the bathroom floor. Besides a few missed calls from spam numbers and some unanswered texts from friends and my brother, everything seemed to be fine. Except the date was July 28th, which was 2 days after my blackout episode. Holy hell, I said. I walked back into the living room, making my way to the kitchen as I kept thinking about this. I opened the fridge and grabbed an energy drink called Atom Bomb. No, it's not what you think. It's a pre-workout energy drink. Like most people, I needed caffeine to function, and this type of drink had 300 milligrams of it in a 16-ounce can, so it was basically like liquid cocaine. I looked over some of the papers I'd picked up while taking a drink. I finished the can I was drinking and tossed it in the trash. I kept reading while I grabbed another can from my fridge. I could easily have half a case of these drinks and not be fazed. I pride myself in not having any addictions, but caffeine was literally my kryptonite. I walked into my walk-in closet and grabbed my black harness boots, slipping the jeans inside of the boots so my jeans wouldn't catch on anything, and stepped out onto my patio, closing the door quietly. I looked up into the night sky as I let my wings out and extended before coming to a resting position. Okay, Ian, time to hype yourself up. You're going to leap off this patio and fly. It's like riding a bike, except there is no bike. I guess there is nothing to it but to do it. I ran and launched myself in the air. There was a split second where I fell a little farther than I wanted, causing panic, but in an instant I was rocketing into the sky. I could see cars moving and even people walking down the streets. I could hear conversations, laughing and crying. This must be what Superman feels like when he is flying in the orbit of Earth. I turned in the direction of the cemetery that was mentioned in that paper. I figured I would check there first and then maybe check out the canteen that was mentioned. I also wasn't sure how to land without becoming a big red mark on the ground. To be completely honest, I kind of winged it. Pun intended. I let my wings extend out almost to a semi-parachute form as it slowed my descent, and I landed. That was easier than I thought it was going to be. I started to walk through the cemetery casually, not making any suspicious movements to anyone who may be watching. I finally came across a skinny-looking man in a white tank top and baggy jeans, with his signature yellow bandana the cartel uses sticking out of his back pocket, which is just really freaking stupid. Why would you make yourself so obvious by having a color of choice for your gang? I watched him as he was kneeling over a gravestone, which I assume was a lost friend or family member. I slowly approached him, a fallen tree branch cracking under my feet. He turned fast, pulling his gun and aiming it at me. I put my hands up. Whoa, man, no need for that. Just came to do what you were doing, and that's to mourn over loss. Nah, I think you're lying to me, he said, pulling the hammer on his snub-nosed revolver back. I let out a laugh as I dropped my hands down. Walking slowly over to the gravestone next to me and leaning against it, crossing my arms. He scowled at me as he raised the gun again.
to keep listening to this audiobook. I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.